Everybody, this is Becca from Empowering Pumps and Equipment. I'm really excited today because we have Rocky Oli with Flowserve. She is the Global Strategy and Partnerships Leader. Rocky is a passionate, people-centric energy leader with profound interest in progressing responsible energy transition and supporting D&I holistically. Rocky has 20 plus years of multifunctional global industry experience developing and executing multi-billion-dollar energy infrastructure projects, as well as leading project engineering, technical design, and operations in her earlier roles. In her current role, Rocky supports many initiatives such as strategy, marketing, and partnerships for LNG and emerging market segments, working very closely with executive leadership. She is a hydrogen thought leader and technology force at Flowserve and has received numerous awards and recognition for driving growth, projects, and innovation in the LNG and hydrogen sectors. So I am so in awe of you, Rocky. Thank you so much for being here today. And I'm really excited for this interview.
Likewise, Becca, and thank you so much for having me over. It is equally a pleasure to have an opportunity to exchange industry perspective with you and your magazine. Looking forward to it.
Oh, yes. And let's just dive right in. So, you are a leader specializing in business strategy and partnerships. So with that, what would you say is the biggest thing you learned from last year as a strategy leader?
Becca, I think we all agree that the global energy landscape has gone through a paramount shift in last few years, and there is a massive the momentum to bring the emerging technologies, be it hydrogen, CCUS, sustainable aviation fuels, or recycling to mainstream. However, before we develop a competitive landscape around these emerging technology portfolio, a lot of work needs to be done to develop the business model, commercial structuring, codes and standards, and specifically the cost gap analysis for the technology commercialization and expansion. So all this, will need a wider collaboration between the industry stakeholders and an extremely focused enterprise mindset at organizational level. So that is the topmost priority for all of us, I believe, at this time. And as far as the biggest learning from 2022, I would say we should practice being the more adaptive to the changes and move forward in this market with agility, be it personal, professional, or organizational level. More from strategy perspective, I feel we should rely on the effective and agile decision making and look for opportunities to grow together with a focus on non-traditional and transformative partnerships within the marketplace. Also, you would have heard of several bullish government policies and frameworks like IRA and 45Q, which are very supportive of these emerging technology portfolio. But we have to make sure that we develop understanding on these initiatives more from the perspective of compliance and incentives. And again, a very agile and adaptive mindset will be required, to put these frameworks to action and put us in the path of a pragmatic and equitable transition. So I hope it was a long answer to your short question, but I hope it brings you some value.
Oh, no, I think that it was the best way you could have answered it. And definitely, what we need to be doing with being more adaptive is so important, I think, now more than ever, especially as technology just changes at this rapid rate.
Sure.
So today we're going to be talking about the LNG market. Mm-hmm. Why don't you share how Flowserve supports this market?
Sure, Becca. In fact, that is one of my favorite questions, and I would admit that I have answered that question multiple times before. And since data speaks for itself, and I'm a very big fan of data and numbers, so maybe I will highlight few numbers that will give you an elevated perspective on how Flowserve supports the entire LNG value chain holistically. So if my memory serves me right, now we have serviced 60 plus facilities around the world And these are the liquefaction and as well as regasification facilities with our valves, pumps, and seals portfolio. And of course, we have a huge experience when it comes to flow control expertise, 230 years into this. And from Freeport LNG, just to give you a few install bases, our past install bases from Freeport LNG, Sabine Pass, and Cameron LNG within North America, to Mundra regasification terminal in India and Sakhalin in Russia, we have a global footprint, on the major LNG and few regasification projects as well. We researched our past install bases very recently, and I'm proud to see those noteworthy numbers. So in our past install base, to be spot on, we have 20,000 plus Flowserve valves, 10,000 plus Flowserve pumps, and 10,000 plus mechanical seals operating in the global facilities, few of which I just mentioned previously. And I believe with that kind of install bases, we are working really hard to make that energy flow safely and efficiently at our prominent LNG customers' facilities, and at the same time meet their priorities.
Yeah, and you really are covering all bases as well on how you're able to support people, which is awesome to see.
Sure.
Let's zero in on decarbonization. How important is the production of natural gas in the energy transition?
Well, Becca, when it comes to decarbonization or energy transition, unquestionably LNG and gas has a significant role to play. One, because it is a known game to us, and from production to distribution, we have figured out the entire value chain. And secondly, it is the only at-scale and pragmatic fuel choice today to meet the needs of the growing economies to decarbonize the hard-to-abate industrial area, and more precisely the Asia-Pacific region, which will be transitioning from the coal-based economy to the gas-based economy. I always highlight that these economies will embrace a phased approach towards deploying the emerging technology portfolio. And when they do so, LNG will be a significant and cost-effective bridge fuel for them. Other uplift now for the LNG and gas economy, what I can see comes from is the increasing use of LNG and gas in the transportation segment. And this is including the onshore transportation as well as the offshore marine transportation. Maritime and shipping industry will be phasing out of the diesel-fueled vessels to the LNG-fueled vessels to meet their International Maritime Organization's 2030 as well as 2040 net zero commitments. So that also gives a very huge boost to the LNG economy overall. And I believe at a global scale, there has been agile adoption of the small, mid-sized modular LNG trains over the conventional stick-built trains, and floating regasification as well over the fixed onshore regasification, which definitely gives a competitive edge, both in terms of schedule as well as the capex, and makes LNG more relevant to ace the energy transition game. And needless to say that now with embracing these emerging trends within LNG segment, will further help us to build energy securities with the current geopolitical turmoil that we see. So of course, so these are the few the pros I can think of right away.
I think those are all great highlights of the role of LNG in the energy transition. Are there any cons that you would like to highlight?
Cons. Yes, Becca. On the flip side of the coin, although LNG's carbon footprint is smaller compared to diesel or petrol or any other fuel oil, but it is not completely carbon free. So personally, I believe looking for opportunities to further reduce the carbon footprint across the entire LNG value chain by holistically addressing the scope 1, 2, and 3 emissions that will go a long way in deploying the LNG project projects further optimally, and making it a prominent fuel of choice in the coming years, more aligned with the ESG frameworks that exist today.
Yeah, I like that perspective, and thank you for highlighting that as well, because there always is two sides to things, and it's great to have that full picture, I think. Now, you mentioned it just a little bit earlier about flow solutions, and I think that it's safe to say that everyone knows that flow solutions play a huge role in this, but I'd love to touch on the role of pumps specifically. What type of pumps are needed for LNG?
To address your question, Becca, let me give you a little bit of perspective on on what the priorities are from the LNG developer side when they run their facilities, or around what KPIs they operate. Within the LNG facilities, Becca, it's all about equipment uptime. That's why we engineer our sealing solutions and pumping systems to perform consistently and reliably under the high pressures and ultra low temperatures found in the liquefaction terminals and aboard the carrier ships as well. Reliability of the equipment is another important aspect. And I believe to take care of this holistically, we spend enough time to in our system design to ensure that the compressor and pump seals and the pumping systems gives our customer the best mean time between repairs, which is MTBR, and reduce the downtime for the equipment. Our worldwide network of manufacturing facilities, quick response center, and certified repair shops all across the globe helps operators maintain the equipment to ensure its availability is foolproof, and they are able to keep up with the production on target. I won't shy to say that Flowserve has the most complete portfolio of pumps and seals designed to enhance the RAM. And again, this RAM stands for reliability, accessibility, and maintainability, which are the prominent KPIs of the LNG, around which the LNG facilities are run by the developers, and help them to sustain the operational excellence of their operating facility. In addition to that, I would briefly like to mention that all our products comply the quality and environmental requirements of ISO 9001 and ISO 14001. Now, they also meet the relevant design and safety testing performance standards, such as API 621, API 682, and API 692. So whether for a gas scrubbing amine loop, heavy and light hydrocarbons extraction loop, or storage and loading operations loop, LNG developers can pretty much rely on Flowserve for all their pumping needs.
Yeah, and that really is important. It goes back to my comment about all of the different things that you guys have to offer to support people, and to have that complete loop of course, products, but also services and how you can support people is really important, and just like convenient, and to have people know that they have kind of a one-stop shop to go and have someone who is the expert and has the things that can help them.
Yeah. And yes, Becca, as you mentioned, the aftermarket component, the services and solutions component becomes very pertinent, to make sure that we are able to meet the KPIs of the LNG developers.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Now, July is coming up really soon, sooner than I think we would all like. And with that is LNG 2023 that I know Flowserve will be exhibiting at. What are you planning on showcasing during the show?
As a holistic OEM supporting almost the entire LNG value chain, we look forward to LNG 2023 as an excellent opportunity to showcase our end-to-end capabilities with our pumps, seals, and valves portfolio. And also looking forward to meet and present our new strategic initiatives to our customers. There are close to a dozen baseload LNG projects and infrastructure development that are expected to take FID within North America in 2023 and early 2024. So it will be a great opportunity to meet up with those customers, and the representatives of the future LNG infrastructure development. I will also be presenting a paper along with my co-author Jeff Parrish on methane fugitive emissions abatement through innovative valves and sealing configuration and digitization. The idea of this paper is to highlight that how embracing technology innovations as a carbon offset opportunity, LNG developers can create a very strong framework for real emissions reduction within the brownfield as well as the greenfield facility. So from both the ends, I'm really looking forward to LNG 2023 and meeting up with our existing as well as future customers.
Oh, that's awesome that you're doing a paper there, and I know you're going to do great. I already know.
Oh, thank you so much.
So you have a lot of solutions that can help customers, but at least with this event specifically, what are those solutions that customers are coming to you for?
So Becca, we have multiple solutions, for our customers. But since I'll be presenting a paper at LNG 2023, so I would like to give you a sneak peek of the value proposition, through that. And as I mentioned, my paper now will talk about methane fugitive emissions. So in a typical liquefaction facility, which is 4.5 MTPA mixed refrigerant liquefaction trains typically, and 90% of the plants globally are the mixed refrigerant, propane mixed refrigerant air products technology liquefaction trains. So we could be looking at around 1,200 plus control valves and isolation valves under general service and severe service in a 4.5 MTPA facility. Now imagine the cumulative impact of leakages coming from these many valves. Together, they could be a noticeable contributor to the carbon intensity of the LNG produced if they aren't taken care of, or abated at the source. So that's why I believe the more effective flow control of valves equipped with digitization capabilities needs to be an integral part of the liquefaction segment or the LNG value chain holistically. So that is one of the solutions, that I'll be talking in LNG 2023, and happy to reconnect to discuss multiple solutions that we have, to bring value to our customer. And I'm sure our customers will also watch this video and will be there. So we'll be presenting a lot of solutions, again, taking into consideration the KPIs around which these facilities are run and demonstrating them at LNG 2023.
Oh, that'll be awesome. And thank you for the little sneak peek to give people, to get them a little excited to be able to check it out at the show. And, is there anything else that you would like to add for those that are watching this interview?
Yes, I would definitely like to share our CEO's vision around the 3D strategy, which I'm super excited about. So just to give you a perspective, 3D stands for decarbonize, diversify, and digitize. And as far as our engagements now within LNG value chain, I'll bring back the discussion into LNG value chain. So as far as LNG value chain is concerned, I believe we are at the forefront at diversifying within the small, mid-sized modular LNG. And as I mentioned before, floating regasification segment by evolving our flow control technology and design of our products to make them more fit for purpose. As far as the emissions reduction and life cycle asset management of LNG facilities is concerned, we are addressing those needs of our customers by our strong digitization and IoT offerings through Red Raven. And at the same time, we are also at the forefront of efficiency optimization and decarbonization of the brownfield oil and gas gas assets by leveraging sustainable practices and introducing programs like Energy Advantage, Decarbonize by Design. And I'll be more than happy to, as I said, to reconnect with you or with the LNG developers and audience to share more insights around these initiatives and how we are closely aligned to cater the needs of our customers. Overall, I believe that with the vision that our CEO have towards 3D strategies and keeping those at the focal point, we are very much in sync with our LNG customers' goals to produce the carbon neutral LNG as we move forward.
That's amazing. And yeah, and thank you for, just putting it out there as well of, being happy to have people reach out to you and just to give more information and, just your insight on how you can really help people. And on that note, how is the best way for people to get in touch with you and or Flowserve in regards to your LNG solutions?
Sure. Becca, we have launched our complete enterprise-wide LNG product brochure that highlights our capabilities from pumps, valves, and seals portfolio last September. And I believe it is available at flowserve.com and has all the relevant contact information to get in touch with us regionally. We also have our landing page at flowserve.com that gives more information to our customers, and get in touch with us and learn more about our portfolio offerings, services offerings, as well as the new sustainable programs that we have embraced, as a part of decarbonization initiative. And of course, as a global business leader responsible for the growth and management of LNG and gas verticals, I'm always there to address any questions and concerns that the industry or our customers might have. I'm very much externally connected with the industry stakeholders and the customers, so very happy to assist in any possible way I can. And you can find me in LinkedIn as well.
Wonderful. And, of course, they'll also be able to catch you at LNG 2023 in July.
Sure.
So if you are attending the show and watching this, make sure that you go and check Flowserve out and get yourself introduced to Rocky. And honestly, Rocky, thank you so much for your time, your expertise. It's been great, and really just being able to highlight the LNG market and all of the different amazing things that Flowserve is doing is just like, my mind is blown. I feel like I've just received so much information from you that is just needed and just helps us with the education and understanding of this market and all the new technology and innovation that's happening very quickly. And I really appreciate your time and to just talk with me today.
Yeah, thank you, Becca, for having me over. Your questions were very noteworthy, and I thoroughly enjoyed developing a deeper OEM's perspective within LNG value chain. So I look forward to meet up with you in person and in Vancouver.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, bye-bye.